Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your June 2020 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. So let's dive into this reading. This reading is going to span from full moon to full moon, so from June 5th to July 5th. Yeah, that's the time. The new moon is on the 21st of June, and I have everything all laid out here for you. So what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to be moving your Queen of the Moon and your Moonology cards over to the side. I will be layering them at the end on top of the tarot to really give the moon a voice of her own. Okay. So let's see what the tarot has to say. How will Capricorn be affected by the June 2020 full moon? How will Capricorn be affected by the June 2020 full moon? How will Capricorn be affected by the June 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Ooh. All right. So we have the Six of Earth right at the center, which I love. Seven of Air is crowning you, so it's the Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. Then we have the Queen of Water, which is a water sign energy, a Pisces, a Scorpio, a Cancer. This is going to mean that the 21st, around the 21st, is going to be intense for you because that is the new moon in Cancer. Then we have Temptation right here. This is the Devil card. This is you, Capricorn. This is also saying that the Capricorn full moon, which is on the 5th of July, is going to be very intense for you. We have the Two of Air. We have the Messenger of Water, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. There we go. I just said it and it flew out of my head. And then we have the High Priestess, which I love. Ace of Fire. Five of Fire, Five of Wands, Four of Earth. Okay, so this is intense. It really is a very strong and powerful time for you. You are breaking free of something that has held you back by embracing in this emotional, spiritual understanding. It's like by embracing in you, you set yourself free or you reset the tone. The repeat of the number 2 talks about creativity, communication. It talks about collaboration with your higher self and with, your now self, yeah, that's an interesting way of putting it, but that's what Spirit is saying. And there's this sense here that once you break free of vampiric energy, because the Four of Pentacles is my vampiric energy card, you then move to the Five of Fire, which is you break free of this energy that's holding you back, that's having you kind of hold on to things, right? And then it moves you to the Five of Fire, which is looking at the chaos, looking at, this sense of things not being balanced to where you want them to be. But there's this gift from divinity that is coming your way, from God, Source, Spirit, where you're going to see things more clearly, where you're going to be embracing a greater power. And there's this sense of you're done with the lies, the sneakiness, the mistruths of people, because some people, they're going to lie to you and they're not going to mean it. They're just that type of person. They just lie. That's just who they are. And if you kind of called them out of it, they would be like, well, what the heck is wrong with you? I didn't say that. I didn't do that. So be mindful of this. It could be around an air sign energy, a Gemini, a Libra, and Aquarius. But it's as you become very clear within your mind, because there's something that's happening here. There's a shift that's happening where you're becoming very clear about things. You're not going to want other people's nonsense at all. You're not going to tolerate it. You're not going to take it. And you're looking at a path. And this path frees you. It's a path that embraces what you love, and it embraces your knowledge, your truth. So we're starting off here with the full moon in Sagittarius. Now this is a powerful moon because it is the visionary moon, it is the truth-telling, the truth-seeking moon, and it really is you starting your hero's journey. And you really looking at it in a very open and very honest way. You're like, this is what I want from life. This is where I'm heading. You're taking this arrow right here, which is the Ace of Fire, and you are setting aim and going. And like loosening that arrow to go after what you want, to expand your horizons, to kind of break boundaries, things that you once thought, oh, I could never cross that line. It's not a negative line. It's like, oh, I could never do that. I'm never going to be that brave or that self-assured, or however you want to say it. You're going to find that you can be, and that you are. And as you're moving towards this truth and this power, there is a sense of personal freedom. It's like, I need this freedom within myself to guide me, to embrace me, to enlighten me. And so here you're looking at the bigger picture, and it moves you to knowing that conclusions are within reach, because you're looking at the bigger picture of what you want with the full moon eclipse. Now, this is really cool because we have a full moon eclipse on the 5th of June, and we have a full moon eclipse on the 5th of July, which is your moon. So know here that it's going to be very impactful for you. You're going to have a sense of seeing things more clearly, and yet sometimes feeling like the clear sight fell away at times. So know that that balance is coming in. And as you're moving forward in this clear sight, in this understanding, you're going to be very much drawn to extremes, right? So here it's called the hot moon. So it calls us to extremes. But in the Farmer's Almanac, this is the strawberry moon. It's a sweet moon. It's a beautiful moon. It's also ruled here at this time, is ruled by Mercury. So you're going to find that the ruling planet, being Mercury, really has you communicating, has you opening up, kind of, excuse me, the pathways of communication that you might not have thought of. You might thought that that door was really closed with some people, or that, there wasn't anything that you really had to say on the subject. You're going to see things opening up. You're going to see yourself opening up, and it moves you to a surrendering to the divine, to your divine power, to your divine self. And this is important because the full moon being in Sagittarius, excuse me, represents freedom and independence, because Sagittarius is strongly connected with the goddess Artemis. Now, the goddess Artemis in Greek mythology is the goddess of the hunt. In Roman mythology, she's Diana. So here, what you're looking at is you're looking at your truth. You're looking at what you are setting your sights on, what you are what you're hunting. And the reason why I'm seeing, now the goddess Artemis is just simply important, because of its connection, because of her connection with Sagittarius. But it's also the virgin energy of the goddess Artemis, which I know you might be sitting there and thinking, well, that's ridiculous, or okay, that's odd. But hear me out, because the goddess Artemis was a virgin goddess, just like the goddess Athena was a virgin goddess, meaning that they had freedom that goddesses that were married did not have, because they still had to answer to their husbands. But in ancient Greek times and ancient Roman times, marriage was very different than the way we think of marriage. Yes, it was a political arrangement, but there were things as divorce, and people got divorced all the time. Your father arranged your marriage, and if he decided that your political partner, your spouse, was not politically advantageous enough for them, or fell out of favor for your family, you would be divorced. And it did not matter if you were male or if you were female. You would be divorced from your spouse and married to another. It didn't matter if you had kids, anything like that. So the control was taken out of your hands. And so when we see the virgin goddesses, right, we see somebody taking control back. And that's what you're doing. You're taking control over your life by claiming your power, by claiming your creative energy, and saying, it's mine to do with what I want. Whether, it's yours to do with what you want. So here, and whatever that is your right, especially during this time. It's your sense of power, your sense of creativity, your sense of truth will not be dictated by anybody else. And that's what I'm really seeing here. And so as you surrender to the divine, you surrender to that wisdom, you surrender to that power, and you surrender to your truth. And it moves you to the new moon on the 21st of June. So you're seeing beginnings, and you're seeing new starts coming. And this new moon is in Cancer, and this is saying you and your loved ones are safe, which is something that we all like to hear, but especially during this crazy, chaotic time. And so here, as you're walking through the portal to where you want to be, it's kind of like this is a moon of walking through realities, of walking into change, of finding where you stand and what you stand for and where it is that you want to be. And as you claim this power, as you claim this knowledge, you claim yourself. And you're going to see that, yes, you and your loved ones are safe, but you're also going to see that you are really focused on making sure you walk forward in a path and on a path of love, compassion, and understanding, on a path of truth and soul's desire. There's going to be something that opens up to you around the 21st of June that is absolutely calling to what you love, calling to what you need, and calling to your heart, because it moves you to the full moon in Capricorn, which of course is another, has another lunar eclipse. This has a solar eclipse on the 21st, so that amplifies it. Passion will be running high. And here it says conclusions are within reach. You're coming to a point where you're going to reach the changes that you want, which is very important because the Capricorn full moon says the end of a tough cycle. There's the end of a tough cycle, an end of doubts, an end of fears. It doesn't mean that they'll never come back, but it means that you're knowing where you stand and what you stand for. And it leads you to change. This is the thunder moon, but in the farmer's almanac. This is the stag moon. This is the buck moon. And we have a stag right here. We have a buck right here. And this is important because a stag is the king of the forest. And so here, I just keep on thinking of Bambi, And I think it's so terribly funny because I haven't watched that movie in a zillion years, right? And so here with Bambi, there's the sense of an innocence, okay? And that's definitely shown in the spirit animals. But there's also a sense of a power. So what you're doing is you're changing the narrative. You're changing the story. You're starting off on the hero's quest. And if you've ever read Joseph Campbell or, Star Trek or anything like that, or Star Wars, you know that the quest has to be by somebody who doesn't have the same ties, or any story to begin with, that doesn't have the ties that other people do. They're usually orphans because it's just more advantageous. So here, it is knowing loss, it's knowing pain, it's knowing that nobody can save you from that. And then it is as you develop, as you meet people who befriend you, as you meet people who you get on with, you also know that they branch out, that they have their own lives, their own way of doing things. And then you're confronted with the fact that you are supposed to be the ruler of your domain. So what this means for me is when I'm looking at this Disney movie, we start off, and yes, even if you have the most wonderful family in the whole entire world, you're still to walk your path with your own 2 feet. And so here, as you're moving forward, as you're going after what you love and you desire, you're going to find hardships, pains, and disappointments along the way. And when you finally start to realize that you are made of majesty, that you are royal in and of yourself, the expectation of it can be completely overwhelming. But know that you are moving towards the change of this beauty, of this truth. The spirit animals during this time are the deer spirit and the eagle spirit. The deer spirit says, bring a gentle touch. And that's what you're going to be very inclined to do as you also assert your power and your authority. And then you have the eagle spirit here, which says spirit has your back. Spirit has your back because an eagle can see better and fly higher than any other bird. And that's what spirit can do. Spirit can fly higher and see better than you will ever be able to see. And with the deer, this is bring a gentle touch. This is know that you can be gentle and still defend yourself. That you'll know you'll have this quiet strength of how to stand your ground and when to stand your ground. This then leads you to being strong and brave when you need to be, not all the time. It's, yes, having that strength and that bravery with yourself, but it's saying, I know when I need to be intense and when I don't, and I will not be pushed, because there's an innocence to you, there's a natural beauty to you that you're really embracing and you're going to be embodying. And this leads you to the spirit animals of July, which I have absolutely none of them in my cards. So the spirit animals of July are the woodpecker spirit and the salmon spirit. The woodpecker spirit is rekindling your passion for the truth, and it's also defending those who are smaller than you, who are weaker than you. And the salmon spirit is rebirth and moving forward and happiness and eternal light and divine femininity. And it's this sensuality. It's this sense of living in love. And so for the woodpecker spirit, I have the brown bear and the hummingbird spirit, because the brown bears are the ones who are the defenders of those who are weaker, defenders of the small. And so here it says, take time out. Take time out to follow your heart's truth, the seeds that you have planted over your heart. And then the hummingbird spirit is be here now. And I think that really does show the woodpecker's sense of rekindling your passion for the truth. Be in the here and now. Don't be in the future. Don't be in the past. Be in the here and now. Because what you're doing is, as you move into the salmon spirit, you know that there is always enough. There is always enough love. And I should have nightingale spirit here too, but I didn't think of that, where she says that love is all around you. And that's something that you're going to be very aware of during this time, that love is all around you. It is absolutely a part of you. And I like this digression here from 6 to 5. So you have the 6 of earth, and then you have the 5 of fire. So we have what you're planting, what you're developing, what you're going after, right? Your prosperity. And then we have your passion, and this is also what you're going after, your passion, that fire in your belly, your intuition. So here, you're not really going to you're going to feel almost as if you cannot trust yourself. Because there's going to be so much that's going on. There's a sense of chaos. There's a sense of looking at things and thinking, oh, well, how do I move forward? Where is it that I want to be? And there's an internal struggle that if you step back from it, it's kind of like if you claim it and say, wow, man, like this way I messed up. Or, I might need to talk to somebody, or I might need to write things out and talk to my angels, or just have a conversation with my angels, or really sit in meditation and look at my energy self, my chakra self, and see where I have my blockages, things like that. What colors are really coming up in your mind during this time? Because you can sit there, and if you equate it back to the chakras, it's like, is it blue? Like, is blue a color that's giving you, that keeps on coming into your mind, that you sit there and you're like, why am I so drawn to it? It can be that you need to work on your throat chakra. Red for your root chakra, orange for your sacral chakra, so on and so forth. So just be mindful here, because there is this sense of looking at chaos, but there is this sense here of being that king of the forest, being that stag, being that power, and saying, I am moving forward in my truth, in my glory, in my beauty. I will not be stopped. Period. End of the discussion. And so with the 6 of earth, going into the 5 of fire, it's like, okay, I understand this, and I will not let myself bring myself down. I will not be ripped away from where it is that I want to be, because there's some connection here with you, Capricorn, that has you connected with what you don't want. And it's not in a bad way, it's in a life way. You might say, Dane, how is it a good thing to be connected with what you don't want? Because first of all, you can name it. So often we are connected with things that we just don't want, but we're sitting there and we're saying, well, this has to be what I want. It has to be. It's what everybody wants for me, or it's what you see on TV, or it's what you've read about in a book. This has to be my truth. And it's not. And so here, what you're doing during this moon is that you're looking at the big picture of what you want and what you need. And you're seeing the lies. I mean, seriously, if there's going to be one thing that ticks you off to no end, it's going to be the lies. It's going to be the manipulation. It's going to be the, demands of others that don't make any sense. It's going to be people who can't see you because they're too busy seeing themselves. And so with the 7 of air, it's like, I'm taking my knowledge and I'm leaving some things behind because it's just too much. I can't carry that much. I'm done. I'm done carrying everything with me. I don't want it. And so as you're letting something go, you're going to find some things go. And as you're embracing your truth and you're calling out other people, and it can even be the way that you were brought up, or a past lover's words to you that stung. They stung. It can be from a teacher, it can be from whoever it is, where you're sitting there and you're like, first of all, you were a schmuck to say that to me. Secondly, how dare you? And thirdly, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I'm moving forward. And as you're moving forward, you're embracing the Ace of Fire. And the Ace of Fire is the arrow that you are shooting. It is your integrity, it is your dedication, it is your passion, it is your desire to move forward. And you claim it. You really do. And then you're looking at the two sides of things, okay? You're looking at the 2 of air, the 2 of swords. You're thinking things through. You're thinking, oh, do I go this way? Do I go that way? Should I do this? Should I do that? You're not really sure, all right? And the thing is that you have vampiric energy around you trying to pull you down, trying to keep you from where it is that you're supposed to be. That's what the 4 of of Pentacles is for me always, when I read for myself, when I read for anybody. It's vampiric energy that is keeping you off course. And you're done with it. You really are done with it. You're looking at the roads and you're like, I don't want to head down this road, and I'm not really too keen on this road. And you are forging a new path. You are forging a new path because you are embracing a new truth. And as you do so, you see yourself embracing, embodying, enlightened by what you desire, by what you need. And as you're doing so, you're also seeing where you're stuck. Again, sit quietly with yourself. It doesn't have to be for a long period of time. It can be just for a few minutes or a minute. See what chakra energy comes up, or see whose face keeps on showing up in your mind's eye. Who is holding me back? Why? Because when you have a moon that's calling to your visionary self, when you have a moon that's calling to you to embrace your hero's journey, to fly true and to aim justly, you can't have the baggage anymore. You don't want it. It's looking at it, it's like, why? Why do I have this? Why do I need this? And so you're looking at things with the Four of Earth, and you're like, why? Why? This isn't me, and I don't want it. And you're going to see that as you're looking at things, and as you say, I don't want this, a new roadway opens up. A new avenue starts to guide you forward, and it leads you to the messenger of water. Now, this could be a water sign energy, a Pisces, a Scorpio, a Cancer, but it's also getting the most valuable information from the smallest of things. It can be from a person, a smallest of encounters, or it can be from a child where you're sitting there and you're like, wow, kid, that was intense, thank you. It's a truth. Or you're looking at something and you're like, that's what I want. I don't want this. I want that. And you are being a defender of your heart, of what your heart desires, of where your heart wants to be. And this is important because I am of the firm belief that we are all emotional beings. As emotional beings, we have to listen to our emotions. If we don't listen to our emotions, we got nothing. I mean, we can have logic, or we can let our emotions take over, and then we have chaos. If you're just simply with your emotions without any logic, it's chaos. It's those people who fly off the handle this way and then fly off the handle this way and have no rhyme or reason to them, which I don't like at all. So here, with the messenger of water, it's listen to your emotional self. Listen to what your heart is saying. And ground that in your logic, your knowledge. And say, I cannot be what my heart does not want to be. Because you can't. Without losing a part of you. Without not feeling fully whole within yourself. You cannot cut off yourself from your heart. Because those become people who are, it's sad. It's sad, and there's so much more that they could be. And so here with this water energy, you are this messenger of water, this Knight of Cups energy. You're seeing yourself holding to a truth that is like a whisper, but becomes a tidal wave, that becomes a shout, that becomes something you cannot ignore. It's kind of like tornado sirens. You can't ignore them. You hear them. They're there. And it leads you to you. You're represented by the devil in the major arcana. You could sit there and go rude, and I kind of agree. It's not the most becoming, but it's not bad. Especially if you look at it and say, you are represented by the earth. I firmly believe that the devil's domain is the earthly plane, if you believe in devils. And I'm just thinking of the Sermon on the Mount. I'm thinking of when Jesus went off into the desert, and the devil tempted him and said, I can give you all of this. I give you it all. The only thing you have to do is pretty much be a tyrant. And Jesus was like, no, thanks, I'm out. And so here, that's exactly what you're doing. That's your life, right there, is you can have it all. Or at least what you think is it all. The only thing you have to be is a tyrant of your existence. And that's not something I see you as saying, oh, that's cool. Oh, I want that. It's an embracing of your heart. It's embracing of your wisdom. It's saying that there is more than money in this world. This is also looking at addictions, because you have such great power to you, Capricorn, that it can be very easy to say, oh, I'm going to escape into addictions, into alcohol, drugs, sex, food, shopping, things like that. And you're saying, no more. But it's not even just those addictions, because you might think, oh, I'm good. But it can be people pleasing. It can be, anxiety, addicted to anxiety, addicted to leaving things to the last minute, addicted to clutter or chaos or, whatever. It's just like you've lived here for so long, it becomes an addiction. Or you've had to smooth things over for so long, it becomes the addiction. Are you addicted to being the peacemaker? And as you see this, you're like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm out. I'm done with vampiric energy. I'm done with the chaos of inside. I claim my life. And then comes the high priestess. And she's like, thank God. It's about time. I've been waiting for you. She's after the magician. So the magician is seen. I see the magician as the alchemist. Okay? The magician is the one who turns lead into gold, who sits there and says, oh my gosh, I can do this cool thing. And I can change what I was into something magnificent. And the high priestess says, stop being so shiny. Stop being so flashy. Just stop. It only matters what's inside. And if your heart is still lead, what good is your parlor trick? And that's it. It's like, here, it is sacred wisdom. It is the veil being lifted from your eyes. It is looking at your truth and saying, I quietly walk in it. And I walk in my beauty. And as you do so, the Queen of Waters says, I'm moving you forward towards your heart. Embrace your heart, Capricorn. Embrace your love. This could be a water sign energy, a Pisces, a Scorpio, a Cancer. But embrace your love. And there's something very intense happening to you around the 21st of June. It's like it hits you. And you sit there and you're like, shoot. I'm not the same. And it can happen very slowly. If you're not ready, for those who aren't ready to have the veil completely lifted or one of the veils lifted from your eyes, it can be very slowly moving that veil back, seeing where it is that you stand, what it is that you stand for, what it is that you want. Because it's overwhelming. And you can go back, but you're never the same. So be very mindful of the way you move forward spiritually, inwardly. Because there's a sense of you embracing majesty. There's a sense of you embracing this queenliness, which means that you're going to be so much more comfortable behind the scenes of things. You don't want to be center stage. It's not something that you're really into during this time. Because you're taking this passion, you're taking this fire, you're setting aim, and you're saying the chaos is dying. And I am living my truth. Let's see what Luna has to say. How will Capricorn be affected by the June 2020 full moon? How will Capricorn be affected by the June 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. How will Capricorn be affected by the June 2020 full moon? How will Capricorn be affected by the June 2020 full moon? How will Capricorn be affected by the June 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Strong Sagittarius presence. So you start off at the heart of everything with the will. The will to move forward, the will to go after what it is that you want, the will to celebrate yourself and say, I've done what I need to, and I will not be held back. And as you embrace this will, What do you need to release? The waxing moon asks, what do you need to release? What needs to be released to stop the chaos? To stop the doubts, the fears? As you focus, you look at the lies that were told to you, that you might think as truths, but that you say, this is not where I stand. This is not what I stand for. And you focus on the third eye, on the opening up of your knowledge and your wisdom, and you claim it. And as you claim it with your focus, you have the new moon in Sagittarius saying luck is on your side. The arrow for the bow comes, and you take aim on your hero's quest. And that spurs you into action as you look at the two roads and you're saying, I don't want either of these. I'm creating a new road. I am stepping into my reality. I am stepping into where I want to be. And it can take time, it can take work, but you're taking that action, and that action leads you to a fiery climax as you burn away the negative energy, as you burn away that which does not matter anymore, which has held you back, which has kept you, it can keep you in a kind of poverty mindset. I don't deserve to be wealthy. I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve to be loved. And it's like, well, screw that. I most definitely do. And as you reach that fiery climax, you embrace self-love, as you defend your heart, and as you listen to what your heart wants, as you listen to what you want, as you move forward, it brings you to the first quarter moon, which says, your commitment is being tested. Your commitment to yourself is being tested. Your commitment to what you deeply want is being tested. And as it is being tested, you start rethinking abundance. You start relooking at what you desire. And the High Priestess guides you here. So it's much more spiritual. It's much more personal. And it leads you to the void of course, which says nothing will come of the situation as you embrace the Queen. It's like nothing will come of forcing it. And also, with the void of course, it's kind of like what you expect to happen doesn't happen. It's like it messes with you. So here, what you're expecting is not going to happen. And so when you sit there and you do something and you think, this is it, expect something very different, almost completely opposite. And move forward with your heart instead of with disappointment or anger or frustration. Because it moves you to knowing that luck is on your side, and it's asking you, what is holding you back? What needs to be released so that you can have the void of course out of your life and you can embrace your love. You have the focus to embrace your love and know what you need, because this focus is going to come in and it's clearing out that which is holding you back, that which cannot be realized. It's transforming you. Your subconscious message for this time is the Hangman. You do not see things the same as everybody else. You don't want to. You might want to. You might think, oh, well, it would be so much easier and people would get me. But you don't want to. It's like, no, that's not me. Don't apologize for being different. Let it shine. And look at things the way that they ring true for you, not the way that they ring true for everybody else. This then leads you to your subconscious Luna message, which is resilience. You've carried the world tree on your back. You are more resilient than you think. It's time to plant it. It's time to take that weight off your back and to move forward. It leads you to your subconscious moon, which says a new romantic cycle begins with the new moon in Libra. A new romantic cycle begins. A new time of love, of joy, of passion, of truth. It can be a physical romantic cycle. It can be an emotional romantic cycle. It can be you falling in love with your life again and letting that joy wash over you. And that's a huge step towards it. And that's a huge part of it. All right, Capricorn. I hope I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May you have a blessed moon. I love you all. Stay safe.